Now I'm going to tell you something which will have you gasping for breath. Sometime back, a person called me and said, "Ashok sir, will you teach my 3-year-old daughter Python programming?" No, I didn't say third son, I said 3-year-old. When he said that, I was quite taken aback. I mean, I never thought I'd be called on to teach a 3-year-old Python programming. So I just kept quiet, and then he said, "Please, sir, please." Please. I said, "Okay." I've always felt if something seems impossible but is possible, give it a try. So I said, of course, this didn't seem possible, but I said, why not? If I not give it a try. So I in the first class, the girl, sweet girl, 3-year-old, what do you do when you see a 3-year-old? You probably stretch out your arm, take her close to you, and say things like, you, the only language which the baby will understand. But this girl was at the keyboard, so it was already, I was already in the back foot, so to speak. And in the first class, which she wrote a program where the user could enter two numbers and she could find the sum of that. And that's fantastic. After half an hour, obviously the class ended. The second class was equally good. She could then use the same numbers and multiply and divide and subtract. Towards the end of the class, I asked her a question. Can you spell Python? Which she was quite confused, so. So the bottom line is this, that a 3-year-old girl was learning Python. The word Python itself she could not pronounce. So that was an amazing experience. It's like, it kind of shook me at my roots. This was something way beyond my realm of possibility, but it actually had happened. Teaching has never been an in-and-out profession. I go to the class, I keep the lecture, and I come away as soon as the lecture time. So it's never been like that. In fact, it's hardly been. In fact, it's been exactly the opposite. When I go to a class, I am enthusiastic, and I hardly ever notice that the class is over. So it's not like something I do as a chore. I do it as something. It's a passion for me. For example, when I didn't have a place to teach, I used to go to one CP with a group of students, and I used to sit there and teach them. So it's in my blood. I love my career. I love my teaching. I love my students. So I think that's what enriches my life. Teaching has never been an in-and-out profession. I go to the class, I keep the lecture, and I come away as soon as the lecture time. So it's never been like that. In fact, it's hardly been. In fact, it's been exactly the opposite. When I go to a class, I am enthusiastic, and I hardly ever notice that the class is over. So it's not like something I do as a chore. I do it as something. It's a passion for me. For example, when I didn't have a place to teach, I used to go to one CP with a group of students, and I used to sit there and teach them. So it's in my blood. I love my career. I love my teaching. I love my students. So I think that's what enriches my life. It may sound stupid, outrageous, but there was a time when I used to stand at the bus stop and patiently explain to a student a certain topic which he was finding difficult. So once there was a student who had not hardly done any study, and his exam was the next day, and he called me up, and he was in a tight squeeze. So I told him, don't panic, I'll come over. And I went to his place in the evening, and I was there with him till he had his papers the next morning. I was there with him till 3 o'clock in the morning, and at 3 o'clock in the morning, his dad took out a motorcycle, and it was absolutely like ghostly. I were the only two guys, I think, on that motorcycle, and he dropped me home. So it's never something which I feel that it's not like a duty or something. It's something which gives me intense pleasure. Teaching has also had its fun moments for me. I had a student who was in the 8th standard and extraordinary talent with the innate flair for programming. So he enjoyed learning and I enjoyed teaching. So once he went to school, and he told his computer teacher, "Do you know, man?" So she said, "What?" Jagidhar sir knows more about computers than you. Oh my God, that, and his teacher went and told the principal, this is what he said. So, it was kind of hilarious. Who had this enormous love for Java, and he picked up Java so soon, and he was interested in understanding how Java could be used for handling network. So I taught him, and then he said he wanted to know how he could access a computer network. So I taught him that also. Then at home, his home. One day his mother came over. She brought him to class and said, "Ashok sir, you know what's happening? My laptop shuts down as soon as I started." So I wondered what is this. And the boy was standing next to her, and he had a smile on his face. So I realized there was something. I'm sure he was involved in. So as soon as the mother was gone, we started class. I said, "What happened? How come this happened?" So he said, "You taught me how to do." I said, "My God, I didn't teach you how to do any such thing here." So he said, "So you taught me how to. You taught me Java. You taught me, you taught me how to communicate over the network. You taught me how to connect to a remote computer network. You taught me how to run a batch file." So it's simple. I just put all of them together and shut down my mom's laptop. I said, "Okay, man, take it easy, man. Because if she comes to know I've been doing all this, it's the end of." There have been tragic comedies also, tragic as well as I used to teach the BSc Computer Science students, and there was a subject which was particularly tough, and all the students kept failing it, and so it was something, if you pass that paper, it was as if you climbed Mount Everest. So I was very happy when one of my students stood first in the university. It was a great feeling. But the guy, he came next day, I thought he'd be ecstatic and jumping all over the place. But he was looking very morose. So I was wondering what happened. So I said, "What happened, man? You stood first in the university." He said, "Yeah, but I have to repeat the year." I said, "What are you talking?" He said, "I failed in some other subject." I said, "My God, this is tragic, So anyway, so there are fun times, you enjoy yourself. The students enjoy with you, it's great fun.